What do you mean? You sent out back.
Oh, sorry. You. Yes, no, you do. I don't know who I thought was talking. One of my face-to-face kids. Yeah, okay. If you guys at home already did your corrections, then that's fine. Then you really are, here's the deal. I sent you something today. All right. We can go over, all right. What we're doing today isn't hard, but I want everybody to have time to do the test. So I'll squeeze it all in today. But the big thing today is I want to review the concepts that were on the test, because a lot of us missed a lot of the problems. And so I want to go over those. And Kendall, you still need to take yours. Okay. Yes, Josie.
So do you think I should call, or do you think that I'll just learn the new concept and then go? Or which one would
the concept until, well, let's start with the new concept, but then we'll do the review, and then the review stuff will be fresh in your mind going into the test. Okay, how's that sound? The new stuff is easy. Yes, Sophie.
I remember me putting my test in my desk, and now it's not in there.
It shouldn't be there because I took it away from all of you. You were supposed to give it back to me.
Yeah, you did. She gave it back.
I collected it back from all of you guys. All right. Oh, this is doing the same thing it did yesterday. It's not showing me my screen. Okay. Give me just a second, guys. Stupid thing. Have I mentioned that I don't like this tablet situation before a few times?
About 300,000.
300,000 times I've mentioned I hate the dummy tablet. Okay, here we go. New concept, except that you guys can't see it for some reason. Hang on. Yikes, that's what's wrong. I know what's wrong. I know what I did. My settings over here are wrong.
Oh no.
Okay, now we're ready. All right, guys. So the new concept today is adding fractions. All right, but first, I want every single one of you to put down your pencil and set to the side your add. Eyes on me, because this is something brand new. Yes, I'm recording. You may, oh yeah, you can, because you're not doing math with us. Okay. Everybody else, eyes on me, because this is brand new. Okay? All right. Adding fractions. Today we're starting with adding fractions that have a denominator that is the same. So like I could say 3/9 plus 4/9.
Miss Bab, can you present?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Are you recording?
Yes, I'm recording. I'm just not presenting. I'm sorry. Thank you, Josie, for letting me know. Okay. So today we're adding fractions that have a similar denominator. Sophie said, well, gee, it must be this. Sophie, guess what? You're right. It's just that simple. As long as my denominator is the same number, I don't have to do anything. My denominator is going to stay the same, because your denominator is what size pieces you have, right? So as long as I'm adding things that are made of the same size piece, then I'm just going to do regular adding. 3 plus 4 is 7. And I'm going to reuse. Now, don't get confused. It's not 9 plus 9, and I put an 18 over here. Okay? You just use the same denominator, because my pieces are still the same size. My pieces are not going to get smaller just because I'm adding the two fractions together. Because remember, let's do another one. Hang on. Pause. Don't get ahead of me. Don't get ahead of me.
Was I right though?
Well, I don't know what you said.
What if it's different?
If denominators are different is next week.
Oh, I know how to do it.
Okay, so maybe tomorrow. We'll see how today goes. So let's look at 1/4 plus 2/4. Another really, really simple one.
Oh, that's easy. Miss Bass. That's 3/4.
Can you use your board instead of shouting out answers? Okay, you guys are like
Go.
with me on this. So I've got 1 plus 2 is 3. My denominator stays the same. Because guys, think about it. This is, I'm going to draw a picture. We're going to pretend that's a perfect square. We're going to pretend that's a perfect square. And that these sizes are all the same. So this is a 1/4 over here. And I'm adding it to 2/4 over here. My pieces are the same size. So I can easily add them together, and then over here, my square would be that guy plus the 2 that I added to it. So I can easily see I have 3/4. You see why the denominator doesn't get added together and turn into an 8?
Yeah.
I still have the same size pieces. It's still divided into 4 pieces. I have now 3 of those 4 pieces. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Virtual friends, I am flipping over to you. How do you guys feel about this new concept? Josie, your hand is raised. Go for it.
What if it's 1/4 plus 3/4? Would it be just 1 whole or 4/4?
Yes. So let me flip back over. Yeah, so if I would have done this, erase, and this was 3/4, so I would have started with, just to make it easy to see, that 3 plus 1 is 4/4, but we also know that 4/4 is the same as
One whole.
one whole thing. So I could write it as 4/4, or to simplify that,
One whole.
I would just put a big number 1.
Yay, big number
Okay.
1.
Now hang on, let me kick it up a notch.
Oh, no.
Let me kick it up a notch.
Yeah.
Lily,
Do you have a diary marker?
Yeah?
I just use a highlighter with this.
ready?
Maybe.
Woohoo! All right,
Nice
I
catch.
threw it well. Okay. Now, okay, you need a dry erase?
Yeah, I need a diary marker and a diary board. Oh, we
We are out of dry erase boards, so you need not a marker at this point. Does anybody have an extra dry erase board? DJ
Nope.
probably does
I
not.
can use mine on this. I have this.
All right, start with
I do.
paper.
Did
Did you guys have one at home? You guys,
I don't have an extra one. I have one. I don't have an extra one. That's good.
all right,
I don't have one.
all right, you can just hold up paper or type in the chat if you're virtual.
Miss Bab,
Yeah.
I have your whiteboard and I got one for Christmas. Do you want me to give you back your whiteboard?
Yeah, if you don't need it anymore, Joe's.
Okay,
Just whenever.
I'll have my dad bring it up later.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, DJ.
I know how to do the mixed one.
Okay, hang on, pause. Don't get ahead of me though, okay? I'm gonna take it slow so that I don't confuse everybody.
Slow and steady.
Slow and steady. We're gonna win it slow and steady. Hang on, let me flip over. I wanna look at the assignment real quick though. Okay, it really is just that. Okay, but guess what? I wanna show you one more thing that might happen. I'm gonna keep it like crazy easy with these fractions for right now. Uh-huh.
I already got it. Oh, wait.
3 plus 3 is 6. I put it on top of my original denominator. But this is an improper fraction. So this is going to lead me straight into review for the test. Because changing an improper fraction into a mixed number is something that is on the test, and some of you struggled a little bit. So let's take this 6/4. I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to rewrite my 6/4. This is an improper fraction. Remember, improper fraction means the numerator is bigger than the denominator.
Miss Bab, can I go now?
Yes, if you are good with this and you are done with your corrections and you don't need to review, you may go. Kendall, stay with me. Kaylee, stay with me. Lucas, stay with me. So people named Kendall, Lucas, and Kaylee, I need you to stay on. 100% not allowed to
Wait,
leave.
what about me? Can I leave?
No.
Zeke, did you do your corrections already?
I have one more correction to do.
Okay. Do you know how to do it, or do you want to review?
Yeah. Yeah, I know how to.
Okay, then you're good. Okay, Cam, you're
Bye.
good. Kendall, Lucas, stay with me. I don't know where Kaylee went.
You said bye whenever told you left.
Like when I said, Kaylee, don't leave, and then she's like, bye.
I don't think she was ever on.
She was ever on. Okay, all right, so let me flip back over. Kendall and Lucas, thank you for staying. All right, improper fraction, changing it to a mixed number. You have to remember on this one that you are thinking of how many times is the 4 going into the 6? And a 4 goes into a 6, we can think of how many times? One time I can put a 4 into a 6. What is, and then I can think, okay, multiply that. 4 times 1 is 4. And then I think of the difference that would be left over. I've got one whole time that it goes in, and that would give me 4 fourths. But I have 2 left over because 6 minus 4 is a 2. That becomes my new numerator, and I put it over my original denominator. So my answer is 1 and 2/4. I can, Maggie noted, make this smaller yet because I can make 2/4 1/2 because I could divide these both by 2. Now, I'm not going to require you to simplify when you flip them like this.
Okay.
But I'm glad that you saw that, Maggie, because on a STAR test, on the map test, they're probably always going to give you the simplified version as a choice, okay? So be able to recognize that if you get 1 and 2/4, that 1 1/2 is the same thing, okay? It's equivalent. Let's do one more of these really quickly. Actually, let's not, because there are other things that you missed more than this. Okay, the next thing is going the other way, changing a mixed number to a improper fraction. To do this, you've got to multiply your denominator times the whole number. 4 times 2 is 8, and then you add the numerator. So 8 plus 3 is 11/4. Now, what I saw in this section of the test is that you guys knew how to do this, but you made a lot of multiplication and adding mistakes. You did the right thing, but instead of 61, you got 63. Instead of 42, you got 41. So you were right there, but you made some sort of simple adding or multiplication mistake when you were doing this. So be careful and double check your answers on that one, okay? The next kind of problem on the test was greatest common factor. Now, guys, you keep mixing up greatest common factor and least common multiple. In the classroom, I have a fun poster that I made. I don't know that it's fun, but it's an informational poster, and I am caught on this chair. All right, so Kendall, Lucas, I don't know. Can you see that? I've got greatest common factor here and least common multiple, and I've got a reminder problem written down. Might not be a bad idea for you guys to kind of jot an example down, because my kids have this poster to look at, okay, to remind them. But so if I were to say, and I'll just work this example out up here, greatest common factor is the one where you have to list the things that they are multiplied by. So what can I multiply to get 24?
1 times 24.
1 times 24.
3 times 8.
3 times 8. 6 times 4. And 2 times 12. Okay, that's what people have shouted out to me right now. And then for 36, I can do
1 times 36.
1 times 36.
2 times 18.
2 times 18.
3 times 12.
3 times 12.
And 4 times
6 times 6. One more.
4 times
4 times 9. All right. So a lot of you made a mistake on this because you gave me a common factor, but you didn't give me the greatest common factor. So looking at all of these things, they have quite a few in common. They both have 3. They both have 4. They both have 6. And they both have 12.
But the greatest would be the 12.
The greatest is the 12, yes. Okay. So be careful, because I think a lot of you would look at this and say, ooh, they have 4 in common, or they have 8 in common, or they have 6. They don't have 8 in common. They have 6 in common. But that's not the greatest one. So make sure that you take the time and write out all of the multiplication problems so that you can actually circle the correct one, okay? Now, least common multiple. A lot of you just did the exact same thing on least common multiple, and it doesn't work that way. A lot of you, for least common multiple, started writing out 1 times 4, 2 times 2. That's not least common multiple. And I'm going to do a different problem than this one. On least common multiple, you're looking for what is the number, the smallest number that they have in common. And a multiple is when you count by that number. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc. Hang on, I changed my problem. So now down here, I'm counting by 3s. 3, 6, 12. They told me to stop here in the room because they saw that I have 6. Because on this one, it is the least common multiple, which means we're going for the smallest one. Okay, guys?
Either way, you missed 9.
Yeah. Oh, I totally missed 9.
Yeah. Like earlier today, you missed 12 when you were counting.
All right, it's fine. I got my 6. I got distracted because people started yelling stop as soon as I did the 6, and then and Riley had 12 written down. So I was like distracted. All right. So that gets you through the entire front page of the quiz, okay? The second page, the second side of it, is writing in simplest form. You guys struggled with this a bit. And for you guys, you don't have to stare at that poster anymore. Simplest form, okay? In our room, it's over there on that poster. I don't know. I guess I can drag you over to that poster if you guys want to copy this down. This is what you can have as reference. Simplify fractions, change decimals to fractions, and change fractions to decimals. All right, so that poster. Now, I don't know how well you guys can actually see that because I've got this on. Kendall and Lucas, how are you guys doing? How are you feeling right now so far about everything? Give me like a thumbs up or a number in the chat or something. Or you could just say words. Thank you. Kendall's doing okay. Lucas, how are you feeling? Good so far. All right. Okay, so now we're going to simplify fractions. Simplifying fractions is where you have to divide by the same thing. So, because we're making them as small as possible, okay? So, simplify fraction. If I wanted to say simplify the fraction 12 and 36. I can divide both of those by what?
12.
I can divide them both by, everybody's yelling 12. You can think of the greatest common factor, if you will, between the two of them. But if you didn't know 12, like to me, dividing by 6 also stood out. Could I also divide by 6 if I wanted to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could. So 12 divided by 12 gives me a 1. And 36 divided by 12 gives me a 3. So my answer is 1/3. What would have happened, though, if I'd have divided by 6? Because maybe that would have been what I thought about first. So if I divided by 6,
You get 2.
12 divided by 6 gives me 2. And 36 divided by 6 gives me 6. Now, I might look at this and realize that I could still divide this more and get even smaller.
1/3.
What could I divide it by now? DJ.
You can divide it by 2.
I can divide this now by 2. Oops, that's a division symbol, by 2. And divide this one. Whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So 2 divided by 2 would give me a 1. And 6 divided by 2 gives me a 3. So I'm right back to where I was before, 1/3 being my final answer. Okay? So that is the simplified fractions. Okay? Changing decimals to fractions. I think this one is easy. You guys all got confused on this yesterday. You guys, I was like, no.
I just forgot.
Yeah, so changing decimals to fractions. Some of us forgot, and it stressed me out to see you guys how you did this, because I don't even know where on earth you guys got this from, because we've never done anything even remotely like this. But so for changing decimal to fraction, so I'm just going to throw a random decimal out here, 6.25. This is not what you do. 6 is not your numerator, and 25 is not your denominator.
6 is your whole number.
Lord jeebity goodness, no.
It's like this.
Just say no.
Like this.
Okay. Instead, and it's okay. If you did that yesterday, I'm not making fun of you. You were in good company. Like 3/4 of the class did that yesterday. Like almost all of you did that yesterday.
I almost did that.
So instead, what I can tell you is anything on the left side of the decimal is a whole number. I've got 6 of something. If I were going to read this, I would say 6 and 25 hundredths, because my 5 is in the hundredths place, tenths, hundredths. So as a fraction, that would be 6, a whole number, and 25 hundredths. Okay? Do you guys remember that? Kendall, Lucas, are you remembering that? Yes, no, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. So that one, like I said, I think that one's actually pretty easy. If you don't have a whole number, if I just have 0.73, then I don't have a whole number. I just have 73 over 100. Okay? All right. Now, the other way around is a little more difficult, okay? So I've got an example in here, 2/8. Changing a fraction to a decimal. This one is the one where it becomes a division problem. And I have to divide my numerator by my denominator. The only problem is I can't put 8 into a 2. So I've got to add a decimal. Remember, we can always add a decimal and some zeros. And if I put a decimal here, I'm going to put a decimal on top. So now, how many times can I put 8 into 20? 2. Should I put the 2 above the 2 or above the 0 up here? Above the 0, because I'm dividing by 20. So I put the 2 over here, okay? Now 8 times 2 is 16. I'll subtract that. 20 minus 16 is 4. I can't divide 8 into 4, so I'm going to add another 0, bring it down. And now 40 divided by 8, I can do that. That's a 5, Grayson just told me. And 8 times 5 is 40. So when I subtract that out, I'm done. My answer for 2/8 is 0.25. How would I read that? 25 hundredths. Okay. All right. I think the last thing I wanted to go over, and this one really screwed up a lot of you, the equivalent fractions. It's like this. If I have 6, I put an example over here, 8, and then it has a blank. It's like something 48. I've got to think about, what did I do to the 8 to turn it into 48?
Times it by 6. Yep.
Sophie says I multiplied by 6. So 8 times 6 is
48.
48. Whatever I do to the bottom,
Have to do it.
I got to do to the top. So now I've got to multiply this times 6, and 6 times 6 is
36.
36. So that would be my answer. Now here's what messed you guys up yesterday. You had something that looked like this. You had a whole number equals a fraction. And then you guys were like, 4 times 3 is 12. Nope, that wasn't it. That wasn't it at all. Remember that this whole number can be written as a fraction. You put it on top of a 1.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we forgot about that, and we hadn't reviewed any problems like that. So I'm not mad at you for forgetting that, but let's remember it now. A whole number can be written as a fraction. You put it on top of the number 1. So then in this case, I'm looking at my denominators. What did I do to a 1 to turn it into a 3?
Times 3.
Times 3. So whatever I do to the bottom, I've got to do to the top. So 4 times 3 is
12. You were right, though.
12. I wasn't just, it doesn't always work like that.
You said show it.
It doesn't always work like that, okay? All right, let's do another one of those, though. Yeah, DJ?
This is what we're doing next week, right?
There won't be parentheses in division, no. You're crazy ahead of us now. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is fine. All right, so what would this one be?
No. Yeah, 63 nights. Don't say it out loud.
Shawnee Poo, it does always work like that. If it's a whole number, you can just multiply this times this and get that. Okay, if it's a whole number, you can just multiply that times that, and that gives you your numerator. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to pass the tests back out. Kendall, I need to assign yours to you, so hang tight. Lucas, I'm going to reassign it to you as well, but you'll have to look back on the one I gave you to see which ones you missed, because you don't have to redo the whole thing, just the ones that you missed. Okay, bud?
I go get my snack.
Yes. Does that make sense, Lucas? Can you look back at the one I graded and see which ones you missed, and then, oh, you do yours on Cami, so is that okay? Yeah. You can just do yours on Cami. Or do I need to assign it to you again so that you have a clean copy of it to put on Cami?
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so you've already got a clean copy saved on Cami that you can write on? You are not allowed to go get snack, they told me in the kitchen.
No.
Okay, I'll just assign it to both of you guys again, Kendall and Lucas, so that you have it, okay? All right.
Okay.
And then you guys, all right, and then you guys will work on your tests, and then I'm going to pass these out to them too. So give me like 3 seconds. I'm going to pass theirs out first, and then I'll reassign yours, okay?